Good evening, Dr. Willis. Thank you so much for joining us. You stated that Tunisia is a promising leader and you differentiate it from other countries in the region. Can you explain why it is the last hope for the Arab Spring?
Well, I think Tunisia obviously was the one country in the region where the whole Arab Spring began in the end of 2010, beginning of 2011. It's made a transition so far which has been relatively non-violent and with minimal bloodshed compared to most of the other countries. What has impressed me, in comparison to the other countries in the region, is the ability of all the different political actors in the country to actually sit down and talk to each other. And Tunisia had continually had a series of crises where things could fall apart, but the leadership, the political parties and political elements seem to sort of look down into the abyss, step back, talk to each other and move on. And this has been very, very impressive in Tunisia, and I see this is the biggest reason for hope.
You speak about a unique Islamist movement in Tunisia, especially compared to the Muslim Brotherhood in Egypt. How does the Islamist movement play a role in governance in Tunisia?
I think there are superficial comparisons between the Brotherhood in Egypt and the Nahda in Tunisia in terms of being in power after the election, being criticised for wanting to introduce its own agenda. But I think there are very important differences. First of all, Nahda has actually created alliances with other non-Islamist parties. It's also continually compromised on introducing its agenda into the constitution, in broadening its government out to other groups, to making all sorts of compromises whilst in government, but really show that it's a rather different and much more pluralistic and much more open organisation than the Brotherhood in Egypt.
Can you explain how pluralist and inclusive governance policies have contributed to success in Tunisia?
I think by involving other parties and continually talking with often opposition parties, this reduces levels of hostility and cleavages that could lead to violence and could lead to the sort of suspicion and lead to the sort of problems that we've seen in somewhere like Egypt, where violence is seen as the one way of solving the problems. And Tunisia hasn't, fortunately, got to that stage quite yet. And I think that's one of the things that has been major in its favour, and it's something that is really quite remarkable and to be commended.
Thank you.